oh, why should I do it like this, right?
The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm Carlos.
I'm CJ. Sorry about that.
Yeah, your audio was a little low. Yeah.
Hey, we started off a little late this morning by a couple of seconds. It was our fault. We were in
I saw you
conversation.
running. I saw you running.
We were trying to identify the unmanned satellite.
Yeah. Yeah, the city's unmanned today. They're all over at the Hassenfeld Institute. Getting a training on how to be leaders. I didn't know you could train leaders. I knew you could make them better, but I thought when you were a leader, you were kind of born a leader. But then again...
I still need a few lessons myself.
Yeah, well, you know...
Well, you were renamed last night, Carlos.
Just remember, lead, follow, or get out of the way. Yeah. I think most of them should get out of the way. That's...
Oh, keep your mouth shut and your ears open.
That's right.
Well, I failed on that one. They try to keep my mouth shut over at the city council chamber.
So here it is Friday. I apologize for being almost dressed up. But I had a meeting this morning, so I had to.
Another meeting of the poor and undeserving. I understand that you had a great announcement that came across your desk about a particular individual who retired.
Yeah, today at the retirement board meeting, we approved the retirement of C. Samuel Sutter. So he is officially retired.
Wow.
I think it's retroactive to January 15th, I think. But and I've got it in my briefcase. But yeah, he retired on normal superannuation.
Yeah. So he gets what, like 80% of his DA salary?
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He complained all the time about taking a pay cut, but he's not taking a pay cut retired, because it's the top three, and his top three are actually his top three salaried years are all as a DA, because he spent about 99% of his time in service with the county, who will be basically paying his freight, because that's where they got, the money that he put into the county system, the county doesn't get to keep, because he retired through the city, but it's still the top 3 years and according to law. So ironically enough, that he's going to probably make more retired than he did as mayor.
Well, but the city is going to get that money from the county, right?
Yeah. I checked into that after we had that conversation, and it's statutorily, because they're obligated to now work it out with the Fall River Retirement Board, so they will be basically funding most of his retirement, because of the fact that he spent most of his time in the county and paid most of what he did pay into the retirement system to the county. So the county doesn't get to keep his money, because he's retired through our system. So they have to basically, so they work it out. That's why we've got the lawyers there, because they do all this stuff. So, have a nice retirement, Sam. I wish you a lot of luck. Go to Disney World, have a good time, and so you went off on a normal superannuation. So good luck. Have a long and happy and healthy retirement.
Chip, I think one of the things that is interesting is that even though whether you liked him or not, Sam did dedicate a good chunk of his life to public service. And now he's going to go back into public service. And this is going to lead me into my next little section as a personal injury lawyer. And of course, we've just had another lawyer in Fall River who got the bar, or I should say the disbarred. It's amazing what happens in Fall River. It seems like we have the claim to fame of taking away everyone's license to practice law for the same reason. It's not like they went out and, just were bad attorneys, or which Some of them may be.
They never get disbarred for that, though.
No.
If that was the case, you wouldn't have any lawyers. So.
And they all know how to use crayons, obviously. But sticky fingers. It's always about money. It's always about money. You know, they think, well, the guy's dead, so who's going to actually start looking at the fees I charge his estate? He's got a lot of money. And, you know, that's really sad. I mean, Jeffrey Etton's been in this city for a long time.
Yeah,
A long time.
But you know, CJ, that's the way they get them all. They get the politicians, they get the attorneys, and you know, it's all about. We said on our first show, which was a long time ago now, you know, if you want to find out the real truth, you always follow the money.
That's it.
And that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons that, you know, that I always made sure that. You know, I never got involved in the money transactions in the union. I was the president. We had a treasurer. It was his fiduciary responsibility. He handled all the money, wrote all the checks and stuff like that. I co-signed it because it was a two-party check, president, treasurer. But, you know, this way you stay out of trouble. The best way to get in trouble is start handling money. It seems that anytime they get a politician, they grab them. It's about, you know, misappropriation of funds or trying to get kickbacks. And when you look at the lawyers, as actually we go back to Arthur Frank, I believe it was something about billing and money and something about him not representing, charging for work he didn't do or didn't do work. And you know, these are the kind of things that all these guys get in trouble for. And hey, you know, I mean, you could say they know better, but I don't know. Maybe they just don't learn from somebody else. They figure they're not going to get caught. So, but yeah, yes, you're right. You know, the attorney that just got disbarred has been around for decades.
Yeah,
he's been around and a fairly well-known lawyer in the area too. But hey, that's the way it is. But you know, I'm just waiting for them to move away from the lawyers and let's start putting some of these politicians in jail.
It would be nice.
You know, because let's start checking the books and see what they're doing with the taxpayers' money in this city.
Did you say cooking the books?
Yeah.
Hey,
look, they don't even try.
I know.
They just flat out get up there and lie and misrepresent everything. Because we got another controversy now. Melissa Panchley was on the radio screaming about the fact that the city is lying again. And, you know, this is not the first time. First it was about the health care. Now it's building and grounds. They're not taking building and grounds away from us. Well, I hate to tell you this, Melissa, but you've never really had it. You know, what you did was you had a job that you gave to somebody, and you gave them a title, and you paid them a lot of money. But you never really had that job. Contrary to what you believe, the school department is not a separate country within the city of Fall River. It's part of the city of Fall River. And if you check the city ordinances, it says that all public buildings, not all public buildings except school department buildings, were to be maintained by the Department of Public Works when the ordinance was written. Now it would be DCM. But that's been an ordinance forever. Long before you created the job, you know, so you guys get to create all the jobs you want and have redundancies. And this is one of the problems I have with the Fall River government. Why does the school department have their own financial team? We're paying a treasurer of the city of Fall River, and the school department's got a treasurer. They've got an entire financial team over there that's getting probably nearly 6 figures. And we have a bunch of people on the city side that are in charge of the overall budget to include the school department. Wow, what a novel idea. We're reorganizing. So rather than giving some guy $98,000 to do half the work, why didn't we say, you know something? Let's get rid of the treasurer and the entire financial team in the school department and save hundreds of thousands of dollars in salaries and benefits, and let's make the treasurer and the auditor and on the city side take care of all the books, because that's what they get paid to do. Now that is a consolidation increasing, doing more with less. Not let's play how many jobs can we create, because now we've created, now we got 3 jobs, it's like we got Kenny Pacheco doing half, now a new guy getting 98 doing half, and the school department, and they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep those jobs, because guess what? The people in those jobs are connected. That's why they got them. But education reform has to be reformed. It's a disgrace. The school department has become its own nation, and they can dictate anything they want, and they determine that, hey, look, don't you mess with my turf. I can make any kind of job I want, whether they're doing it on a city site or not. We are the school department.
I think one of the biggest problems is, and will maintain to be, the fact that not only did Melissa Panchley come out and call the mayor out on it, you had Meg Mayo-Brown come out and say, no, he has not approached any member of the school committee or the school department. And meanwhile, the mayor is on the air saying, oh no, I've approached the school committee and I just had a meeting with Meg Mayo-Brown. And Meg Mayo-Brown turned and said, yeah, he did have a meeting with me, about 10 seconds long, and we did not talk about this. So, truths, half-truths, and no truths. This is what we're getting.
Yeah.
And, I personally am getting, attacked by every nitwit under the sun who supports various politicians, saying, you don't give these people a chance. Even the mayor told me, look, it's only been 8 weeks. But if in 8 weeks you're not doing what the people want, and you're doing your agenda, and your agenda doesn't jive with the people's agenda, how are you doing your job? Because remember where your authority comes from. And it seems to me that even with this past election, which spoke clearly to every elected individual that the people don't want to tolerate this anymore, they're still going to do what they want to do.
Well, it's a smokescreen again. It's like, okay, Meg Mayo-Brown said we didn't talk about it. They're saying we didn't talk about it. And realistically, look, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. It's a credibility issue. Who has credibility? Now they're going to...
They're politicians.
But that's right. So they have no credibility anyway. So we start from, this is a zero-based budget when we talk about credibility in politicians. But the fact is, that's not the issue. The issue is the mayor should have stood up and said, whoa, you people really don't, that job shouldn't even be there. Your building and grounds job shouldn't even have been there. It should have never been created. And the fact is, and I know, I am not anti-school department. I'm anti-political hacks getting all the money while our teachers are teaching overcrowded classrooms and not getting the pay they deserve. Because we have one of the highest administrative to teacher ratios in the state. And I know that for a fact. I am very pro-education, obviously. Both my children have graduate degrees. So, I value education. And I'm not against the school department. What I'm against is the school department getting millions and millions of dollars, and as far as I'm concerned, misappropriating the money. Not putting the money in a classroom, not putting the money into teachers, putting them into people in charge of buildings and grounds when DCM is supposed to take care of the buildings.
Mm-hmm. Deans of students. Think
about the people in the buildings, Meg, and Melissa ran on a platform of it's about the children. Well, guess what? The children need a quality education. And believe me, if we can get rid of the building and grounds guy and hire 2 teachers, I'm for that.
And that's direct services. That's direct services to the children.
I have to say a couple of things here. For the past 2 months, News Hour on WSAR, I've been pretty much just shut off my radio because Meg Mayo-Brown's been the past 2 months like every other day. on the news hour. And matter of fact, I posted one time that I'm going to turn. I don't want to hear anymore. She's done. She's leaving. Thank you. Goodbye. You know, have a nice trip. But yesterday, I said I'm going to take an extra pill, and I'm going to.
You take an extra blood pressure pill.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave it on. I want to see. So, and what I heard from her was questioning what this people's going to do with this job, this new person in charge. And I'm listening, and I'm saying, we should question what this person's been doing for years.
Yeah.
And the buildings are falling apart. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I really don't know why now you questioning what this person's job's going to be.
Yeah, but you're taking the money away from her, Carlos.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's the kid. You're taking, now you're attacking her turf. And the fact is, you're right. Why are we complaining? Why is she complaining? Why does Durfee High School need to be bulldozed and replaced
After 40 years.
After 40 years. We've got fire stations that are still open in the city of Fall River that were built in the 1800s. And it's like, really? So who oversaw that project? Who's been maintaining that building for the last 40 years? You know, this is the whole thing. Let's make people do what they're paid to do. You know, now, like we said on the last show, government's answer is create another job.
Right.
Let's have 3 people in charge of building and maintenance, but never ask why this got to the way it is. Who wasn't doing the building and maintenance job? Where was the oversight? Why weren't these buildings maintained properly? Why do we have no money for maintenance, but $500,000 for salaries in the budget?
Well,
and
that was my big question.
It's like, this is government. This is government at its best, which means at its worst. And so it's inversely proportional when we talk about government. The fact is that this is ridiculous. The school department has got, like I said, treasurers and a financial team. They've got administrators up to kazoo. We got COOs, all these fancy acronyms, COOs, deans of students. I said, I never saw a dean of students till I went to college. And it was like, really? Dean of students in the middle school. Just what you need. An 11-year-old with a dean of students. Yeah, sure. And how much is that dean of students making? How much is that CEO? You've got a financial officer for the middle schools. Really? Talk about micromanaging and creating jobs for everybody in the world. Let's look at, Jazel, the 2. If you wanna reorganize, let's do that on the city side first where you can, and let's sit down with our state delegation and figure out a way where the city can now turn around and not be constricted by education reform to reorganize the school department, because the school department has created a monster. It's like an 8-headed hydra that all it does is eat money. And not only does it eat money, we're mandated by law to give them the money. Mm-hmm. You don't even have a choice. It's like, this is what we demand.
Now, it's interesting that you say meet with the state delegation, because guess who's called a special meeting with the state delegation and basically the unions? The school department. The school committee has called a special meeting for Monday at the Cuss Middle School with members of the Fall River delegation and the teachers, whatever they call it, advisory thing, and they're all going to meet at the Cuss Middle School to discuss what the state can do to help the Fall River school system.
Yep, and the teachers. We know it. But okay, I'll save you all the money. I'll save you all the time. Clear your schedule. Go back. Go down and have a couple shots and beers, because I know what the answer the conclusion they want. Give them more money.
Right.
It's like, do we really need a meeting to know what they want? Nobody's going to eliminate a job.
No.
Nobody's going to lose a position. Nobody's going to restructure. They're going to keep creating one job after another job like they've done for years. And this is what we end up with. We end up with an upside-down pyramid with COOs and CFOs and MMOs and
Don't forget
and
the ABCs.
GMOs, I don't know, whatever. But, you know, the thing is that, you know, it's out of control. The school department, and the problem with the school department is it's insulated. It's like this mystery world. Nobody knows what goes on in the school department except people in the school department.
And even they don't know what's going on.
And even they don't know what's going on. Because it's like, okay, like I said, hey, you know, you got a guy in charge of building and grounds. My question isn't, should you lose that job? My question is, why was that job created in the first place?
And my question is, who's done the job for the past 40 years and took care of Durfee, because it's falling apart.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, you know, why didn't we ask, number one, why the job was created? And secondly, why the people who were truly in charge by ordinance didn't maintain the buildings? Because I know they end up going, okay, you want to maintain your own buildings? Go ahead. The hell with it. What do we care? We don't care, because the money that extra money we're going to spend for that redundancy, it's not coming out of my wallet. It's coming out of the taxpayers' money. And we know we don't give two craps about the working man's money. We'll never touch a nonprofit. We'll never touch public housing, but we will kill, strangle, mutilate the residential taxpayers and the property owners of residential rental property, and we'll just annihilate them. And we don't care. We do not care about them, and it's obvious.
You know, Chet,
let's give out some more TIFs. Let's run a few more businesses out, you know, let's run a few more small businesses out of business. Let's kick out Kmart after being there for 40 years and paying taxes. Let's run Stop and Shop out of business in the South End. Let's run a few more retail stores out of business. Let's give the people who boot them out of business, they don't have to pay taxes to the city. So we lose their taxes, we lose the taxes of the businesses that are now gone belly up, and guess who's left to pay the bills? Us.
You know, it's interesting because Revere is trying to get Market Basket there, and they're offering TIFs. And what was interesting was that Necco, the candy company, big candy company, was looking to relocate.
Ooh, Necco wafers.
Yeah, Necco wafers, right. And they were looking to relocate. And when they were considering where to go, they did not even consider staying where they were, because they had went out and said, well, we can get some free money. Well, they started getting TIFs, and then they got a huge TIF to stay where they were at and expand. I think, though, the big thing that we have here is Revere right now is saying, yes, we need to use TIFs sometimes to bring these people in, but what are we going to actually get? They're actually asking that question. What are we going to get?
What, are they crazy?
They're looking at the big picture, not the little one, the big picture. It's scary. And
they didn't run around and yell, don't ask them any questions, just get them here.
Right.
Because we need jobs.
Right.
We need jobs.
And you know, that's what's starting to happen. Why? Because the voters are beginning to realize they can't afford it anymore. I called you yesterday. I was accosted, for the lack of a better expression, by our fans again. Very nice women, two of them. Real big supporters of our show. They like what we say. They like what we do. They support it. And they started to say, look, I'm on a retirement. And if I get hit with any more, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay? How many times have you heard that, Chip? Carlos, how many times have you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay? But I guess our city council doesn't hear it. I guess our mayor doesn't hear it. Okay? When the people who formed this city, who have carried this city for years, good and bad, and now the city says, too bad, fork it over.
Yeah.
You know, that's just...
No, yeah, since, you know, look, I mean, and I know, look at, we got Carlos sitting in it, and I know how invested Carlos is in the neighborhood that he's the president of. And I know that Carlos hears this from businessmen in the Flint, from taxpayers in the Flint. Here's a guy that's doing this, and he's doing it, and he really really takes the job seriously, does a great job. And I know, you know, they say we're complaining. We're not making this stuff up because Carlos is sitting right here. And Carlos, I know you can tell us that you hear this stuff.
Oh, I hear it. I hear out there, and I always looking ahead and trying to help people. Just last week, somebody called me. I sit down with this lady on Dunkin' Donuts having a coffee, and she expressed to me how everything it's been happening to her, and she don't know what to do. And then I see the business sides too, and it was funny because I drove by a building that's been closed. That business been closed for 2 or 3 months now, and I looked at the building and I saw what the potential of the building. So I stopped my car in a different business and said, "Do you want to expand your business? I have a perfect location. Instead of paying rent, you can own your building." And his eyes light up. And I went from there to the real estate, put them in touch, went down to see Mike from Frowheads, put him in touch with Frowhead with the loan for the business. And I think today or tomorrow he's going in the building to see the building to move and extend and hire 2 or 3 more people.
Well, yeah, there you go, Carlos.
Did he get a TIF?
You've just, look, yeah. Carlos, congratulations. You just did more yesterday than Frowhead's done in 20 years.
Yeah. Hey, but did your friend get a TIF?
Yeah. You've done more positive in a community than a Forum of Office of Economic Destruction's done in the past 20.
No, I didn't went there for the TIF. I went there for the low interest loan. So this business could move, and I gave him my idea, and my idea, that was an old fish market there. So the kitchen is there. It's worth $30,000 to $40,000 to build the kitchen. And I thought it would be nice for you to have your business open floor, have a fast food stand where people don't have to sit, tall tables, hot dogs, French fries. When you're taking care of people serving you on the other business, it's all inside one building. You have people working on one side, hire people for the other side. A beautiful parking lot outside that you can extend your business on the summertime outside and everything. So he just, you know, he said he grabbed it like this.
Carlos.
He's going to be happy until they figure out a way to give somebody a tip next door to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Have them operate cheap and run them out of business.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what my story is, we always we see the needs, and we have to look for the stars. We need to keep pushing. You know,
and we don't have a problem with that. The problem we have is that the people that are supposed to be doing these jobs aren't. And you and I have done it, okay? And we've had successes. And yet, the Office of Economic Deception, they don't include those successes. And now you have a business coming into Fall River, Market Basket, and I'm all for Market Basket. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have with it is, you know, Market Basket in its own little right is kind of like a Walmart. And they're only like a Walmart for short term. Because one of the things that some people don't know about Market Basket is they actually have a quasi-restaurant inside of Market Basket. They have a coffee shop. They have breakfast sandwiches and pastries, and they also have a pizza section, and they have sandwiches, and they have actual hot food meals. You know, kind of like a Boston Market or Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever you want to call it. Only it's a lot larger than, say, what Stop and Shop or Shaw's or even Amaral's has. And that type of business puts out mom and pop businesses, local businesses, out of business. So, but that's what we have to look at. So remember, people, stay angry and remember to listen, but look into the facts.
And remember, tomorrow your city council gets to go to Haas and Pepper.
Hassenfield Institute.
Yeah.
So remember, the city's running rampant without any support, so have fun.
Yeah. Stay angry, really angry.